We're going to continue with Hello Universe. This is Chapter 6, The Tiger of Elm Street. The Tanakas lived in an ordinary house on the opposite side of dense hilly woods at 1401 Maple Street. It wasn't a far walk for Virgil, just cut through the woods, cross elm and ash, and voila, he was there. But that would have just been too easy. Instead, fate or bad luck, Virgil wasn't sure which, had placed Chet Bullen's house directly on the way to the Tanakas at 1417 Elm. And 90% of the time, Chet, aka the Bull, was in his driveway shooting a basketball. Virgil's parents complained that kids today never spent any time outside because they were too busy playing video games. But not the Bull. He haunted Elm Street like a tiger on the loose. Virgil didn't think of him as the Bull just because Chet's last name was Bullen's. The kid really was like a bull, always ready to charge, always fired up to call Virgil a retard or pansy. Sometimes Virgil expected smoke to come spewing from Chet Bullen's nostrils. Virgil had to go several blocks out of his way to avoid 1417 Elm. It added minutes to the trip, but what else could he do? So when he emerged from the woods facing Elm Street, he immediately veered left. Even though he could have walked one block right, crossed the street, and been at the Tanakas in no time at all. He kept his head down and hooked his thumbs through the straps of his backpack. Walk, walk, walk. When you reach the house on the corner with the green door, turn right. For whatever reason, Virgil had it in his head that if he didn't make eye contact with anything, he would go unnoticed. Not so. Hey, retard! It came from behind him, a fairly good distance, but that didn't mean anything. The Bull knew how to close distances faster than a speeding bullet. Virgil's heart gave one super loud thump. The turn at the green door plan wasn't a fail-safe. Sometimes Chet wandered away from his house, thick hands still holding his basketball. It was inevitable. Virgil didn't look up. He picked up his pace. Hey, retard! Don't you know your own name? Virgil's back dripped with sweat as he walked even faster. The sun was getting hotter and Virgil's nerves were getting weaker. He heard quick movements behind him, sneakers on concrete. Would the Bull push him down from behind, bounce the basketball off his head? At school, he usually just shoved him into the wall. The Bull had never actually thrown him down or beaten him up or anything, but there was a first time for everything. The Bull's sneakers came into view. Virgil smelled the Bull's sweat and wondered if that's how he smelled too. Where you going, retardo? The Bull asked, walking alongside him like they were old buddies. Virgil didn't answer. Walk, walk, walk. Hey, let me ask you something, the Bull continued. What's 5 times 5? Walk, walk, walk. You're a retardo, so you probably don't know. But 5 times 5 equals the number of times I made out with your sister. The Bull howled with laughter. Walk, walk. Virgil imagined an alternate reality, one where he stopped, feet firmly planted on the ground, and looked Chet Bullen square in the eye. I don't even have a sister, ignoramus. Alternate Virgil would say. Then he'd grab the Bull's shirt collar in his skinny little hand, and with the one with the fingers of a gifted pianist, and shove him against the nearest tree. Take it back, he'd say. But the Bull wouldn't be able to talk because his collar would be too tight. So Virgil would lift him up with one hand and throw him across the neighborhood. The Bull would fly over 30 rooftops before landing on top of someone's chimney, which would be burning hot even though it was summer and no one was using their fireplace. And he'd get stuck there and start cooking like a lump of pot roast. But alternate Virgil didn't exist, only Turtle. So instead of saying a single word, Virgil took off running. The Bull didn't chase him. He just laughed and laughed. that was the end of chapter 6.